Hi folks, I'm Allie with the Potomac Bead Company, and I'm just going to give you some ideas for what to do with some of your chain ends, and also feature one of our new pewter links that we have. That's a loop here. You can use any toggle ring for this. I've attached it here to some leather cording. We're in the Ocean City, New Jersey store, so this is kind of a little trinket Ocean City memory bracelet. It has the little charm on here as well as the OC. I'm also going to show you how to attach a fish and also to use some of the chain. For this, when you're doing these, you're going to use some head pins, which are going to have a little stop at the end, and you're going to be making some loops, as well as some raw wire to attach to your loop. Again, a toggle loop will work. Any sort of soldered loop is best to use for this technique. I have my round nose pliers that I'm going to be using to make round loops. I have my wire cutters that I'm going to be using to cut the wire as well as the chain. And then I also have my needle nose pliers. To start out, I'm going to decide what length of chain I want to have here, and I'm going to cut it to the length that I want. So this one here, I have attached the seahorse charm directly to the link using a jump ring. This one here, the fish, I want to hang a little bit longer, so I'm going to figure out exactly how long I want him to hang on my little trinket necklace. I'm going to cut the appropriate length of links and open up here. Once I have the appropriate length of links, I'm going to go in. I'm taking a small little jump ring here. So here's just a tiny little 4mm jump ring. You can use a 4, you can use a 6. Because there's a lot of chain going on, you won't see it. And I'm going to hang my fish from the bottom loop of my jump ring. I already have my jump ring open, and then I'll show you how to close it up properly. So I'm going to slide my jump ring on there. I'm going to slide my little fish charm on. I'm going to close up my jump ring. When you close the jump ring, you want to make sure that you're closing it completely, and you want to close it past where you think it's going to actually be tightly closed to make sure that that's nice and closed and lining up, because you don't want to see a seam on that jump ring. Now my fish is attached to the bottom of my jump ring. I'm also going to hang from that jump ring. I'm just using a head pin. I'm going to hang a little bead to go with it too. It's kind of in browns and tans here. I'm going to put a little blue bead on it just so you can see the bead that's hanging, not jumbled in this. And I'm using gold wire so you can see the difference in the wire. I'm going to put the bead on the head pin, drop it down next to the pin base, take my flat nose pliers, and I'm going to leave myself a fairly large length because I'm going to be attaching this directly to my link. I'm going to leave right there is about a 1/4 of an inch, bend my wire, make my loop. I'm going to make it fairly large so that way it can freely move around my link. And once I have it nice and large here, and I have my link, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that loop that I've just made, and I'm going to coil around that wire. So now that it's in there and that's not going to come off your link at all, and I'm coiling down towards the base of the head pin. I'm just going to kind of freeform coil it down a little bit. I don't want it to look perfect because it's kind of a whimsical necklace, and it's also going to add a little bit of a wire working look to it. I can then tuck in my end, or just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to take my round nose pliers, just kind of round out the edge so it's not going to grab onto anything, and tuck it back. Now that's going to be another little feature that's going to hang right there from the trinket necklace. When I go back to the fish now, in order to hang the fish onto the ring, what I'm going to use is a raw piece of wire. I'm going to make another loop on this side, just like I did at the top here, bending my wire back, making a little loop, going over the top of my pliers, switching to the bottom. I make a little loop here. This loop I'm going to hook my chain into. So you can see the loop here is not closed off. I'm going to slide that open loop of chain and kind of click it right into that loop. I'm going to hold that there, and I can coil around that extra wire if I want it to be coiled. Cut off the extra little bit there. And now what I'm going to do is attach it to the chain. If I want to, I can get fancy, and I'll show you just attaching a bead in between. I can attach a bead in between, or I could do this without a bead, either way. I'm going to leave myself just a little bit of room, about 1/8 of an inch, bend the wire back with my flat nose pliers, grab with my round nose over the top of the round nose pliers till it hits on the other side, switch from the top jaw to the bottom jaw, and take it back. Again, I'm making this loop fairly large, so that way I can also put that loop and that piece of wire through and attach that onto my chain. Just like I did with a smaller chain, I'm attaching this to the link. Again, I'm going to hold either with my needle nose pliers or my round nose, depending on how much room you have in there, and I'm going to coil the extra wire around the top of the bead. Cut that off, and you can make this as busy or as little as you want for that trinket necklace to add a little bit to the look of it. I do have this pretty long. It's about a 24 or 26 inch length necklace, so that way it hangs down a little bit on you. When you do pick it up and kind of drape it, they're all going to form right together. You can add, you can take away, you can kind of add whatever you like. Again, any sort of toggle loop for work for this. This is a pewter finding that we have, a pewter link. You could go bigger, smaller, but this is going to give you an idea for how to work with some of your chain ends, as well as if you have any open links. Check out your local Potomac Bead Company for some of these supplies and any help if you need it, as well as if you need any help with the twisting or with the bending, as well as opening and closing the jump rings. You can check out our other YouTube wire working videos. In addition to YouTube and to our Facebook pages, you can also check us out on Instagram, The Bead Co. or Potomac Bead Co. And you can, Potomac Bead Company, and you can look and see some of the different designs that we come up with as well. So thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully you have fun with a bunch of your chain ends. You can mix and match colors and just throw a bunch of stuff, crazy stuff together, and it makes a nice little trinket necklace.